Are we nearing an end game here when it comes to fighting Hamas, or is this just a case of whack-a-mole? You hit one and two more appear in its place?
It depends who you ask. It depends who inside the Israeli government and inside the Israeli military you ask. From my information, Jabalia operation, it's a refugee camp in Northern Gaza. Really the heart of Hamas's resistance or continued resistance in Northern Gaza is in Jabalia. The IDF says it'll take a few more weeks. We have to keep in mind this is an operation that's already been going on for 2 months, nearly 2 months. Very high IDF death toll in this one operation, so not minor resistance, not minor fighting going on there, as Zach alluded to in his report. And again, the question really on everyone's minds, what's the end game? You call it whack-a-mole. There are some inside the Israeli government who say we're going to continue until total victory, until Hamas is completely eliminated. I don't quite know what that looks like in military terms. It's very clear that Israel is not moving towards that in governance and civil terms because it hasn't presented an alternative to Hamas rule. That's been a problem as well. And then on top of that, obviously, the remaining 101 hostages, Israelis and foreign nationals, we have to keep in mind, not just
Americans,
Israelis.
like Aidan Alexander?
Right, dual nationals like Aidan Alexander, but also foreign nationals, which you never hear about as well, not just Israelis there. What does that do?
British citizen, Emily Damari is one of them?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, a lot of people are... Sorry, finish your point.
No, I was going to say, how does that play into the goal of eliminating and destroying Hamas completely? How do you actually cut a deal? Under what terms? To get those people out of Hamas. Right,
because a lot of people are asking, well, hang on a minute, how was Israel able to sign a deal with Hezbollah and stop fighting there, and they're not holding any hostages, and it can't do something else with Hamas?
Yes, that is a key question.
Because they're saying they won't be able to go back. Netanyahu says we won't be able to go back into Gaza.
Right, although he said a few days ago that he will go right back into Lebanon if there's a violation of that ceasefire. Right. So why can you go back into Lebanon and not Gaza? Obviously, Gaza would be much easier to resume fighting in, given the security reality in Gaza vis-a-vis Lebanon. If you want my honest opinion, it's politics. It's much easier for Netanyahu to cut a deal for a ceasefire in Lebanon versus cutting a deal for a ceasefire in Gaza. He knows that his far-right coalition allies, as Itamar Ben-Gvir even said today, will threaten and probably pull the trigger on collapsing his government if he actually stops the fighting in Gaza to get those hostages out. It's a major, major political conundrum for Netanyahu. For the better part of a year, he's chosen the safety and security of his governing coalition over the safety and security of the remaining hostages, sadly.